bit, and if you hear her scream, that's what.
Okay.
It's all good.
That doesn't sound
No
fun.
problem.
Would somebody maybe want to like kind of run the meeting? Would that be all right?
Yeah, I can. Well, if you just want to run the board, like the questions, I can just kind of direct the conversation. Does that work?
Perfect. I'll do that because I'm gonna put my mic quiet because she keeps yelling. So, but I will follow along and move the paper.
Hey, sounds good.
Thank you, Rip.
So should we start then? Okay. So what did everyone get for number one?
Number one, I got A.
Sorry, I'm getting there quick.
I put A also.
I probably did too. But it's slow.
I put B, but I wasn't sure. I was between B and A.
Actually, on B, I think on the 70s there was a lot of inflation in the U.S.
Was there?
So,
okay. That's
that's
what I wasn't sure about. So we'll go with A then.
it was more than 2% for sure. So I didn't choose that for that. I think the book mentions that.
Sweet. So A for 1?
Yeah, sounds good.
Perfect. Number 2.
I got C.
And I put D.
I got C on 2.
See, I put 2.
I put A, but I'm pretty sure mine's wrong because I was thinking of it as the other way, like in the last section.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, I put A too because I didn't know.
Because I put C because the real interest rate is the interest rate, the nominal interest rate minus the minus the inflation, right? So if prices are falling 2% and the real interest is the nominal interest minus inflation, that's how I got 8, because 8 minus 2 would be 6.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I don't know if I might be wrong on that reasoning, but that was the way I kind of had it on my mind.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure, so I mean that makes sense to me. Does anyone else have?
That makes no sense to me.
Are we good?
You know what? Now that I'm thinking of, this scenario is actually it's not inflation, it's deflation, because prices are falling 2%.
Uh-huh.
I thought about inflation, but it's not inflation, it's deflation. So I don't know how that would affect real interest. Maybe it's the other way around, it would increase it. Because the prices are falling, if it was inflation, you would deduct it would be the nominal interest rate minus the inflation rate. That would give you the real interest rate. But in this case, it's not inflation; it's deflation. It's the other way around. So, in this case, you might have to. No, I'm not sure now. Yep. I'm not sure if C is the correct one.
Should we put a question mark next to that one then?
Yeah, because the scenario is different that the way I thought it. I thought it with considering inflation, but in this case it's deflation, not inflation, because prices are falling, are not rising. So I would have to double check that on the book.
Okay, we'll put a question mark on that one then.
Okay.
So on 3, I got A.
I got A as well.
Got A.
Same here.
So we got A on 4. Whatever before.
I got A on 4.
I got A.
I put A also.
A as well. Number 5.
Got B.
Yep, I got B.
I got B.
I didn't know this one.
Number 6.
I got C.
Got C. Yeah, I got C as well.
I put C also.
I got C. Number 7.
Got B.
I got B.
B. Number 8.
Got A.
A.
I got A as well.
A also.
9.
I got A.
See, I'm confused. So, what's the difference between relative variable and nominal variable? Are they even related at all?
This is on the book. How you have to remember? It is somewhere on the book. Let me see if I can find the page.
Are you guys on 9?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I had the book closed, but I'm sure that part is somewhere on the book. It mentions that the price levels are kind of they vary, they change. So
Yeah.
that's why they're relative. I mean, it all depends on the time that you're looking at the price level. The actual, value of, I don't know how to explain it, but it was on the book was pretty clear. Let me see if I can find it. I have to open the book, but pretty sure I know what that is. Give me one moment. Here it is. Here, it's on. What page is this? It has the title "Relative Price Variability and Mislocation of Resources." That's on, and I cannot see the page number here on the book online. I don't know where that would be.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wait, but it's there, and it says. Let me see if it was in this page or another one. I'm pretty sure it was in this one.
So what did you have for 9 then?
We're going with A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what everyone seems to have gotten, right?
Yeah, that's what I got at least.
I'm good with that.
So can you see what page you're on?
I was trying to see the page, but I don't.
Okay.
I see the chapter and the. I can give you the chapter. It's okay. It's in chapter 17 2E. But I don't see the page. I don't know why I cannot see the page number.
It's all right.
But it
Seems
would
like everyone
be.
Relative variable. So
Yeah, the title of that section is relative price variability and the mislocation of resources.
cool.
And it gives an example and everything. So
Sweet. Okay, so then on 10, I got B.
on 10, I got C.
Yeah, I got C.
I got C on 10.
Okay.
I got C also.
I did let's see. How did I do that one? Wait. Wait, I had the calculation over here. On so on this one, I did money, the m times velocity divided by y, which in this case, so it would be 100 times 3 divided by 150. So 300 divided by 150.
So wouldn't that be 2 then? So C? Is that what you guys
Yeah,
got?
see? Yeah, that's it. Because on the quantity equation, you can it's another way to write the equation. It's m times v equal p times y. So you rearrange the formula to solve in this case p. So you multiply m times v and you divide that by y, and then that gives you p, which is what you need to find in this case.
Okay, sounds good.
It's the same.
Makes sense to me now. Okay. So then on 11, I put D.
I put D also.
Yeah, D. That's right.
Okay, 12, I put C.
C.
Got C. Yes.
I didn't have this one, so
Okay, 13, all of the above are correct. D.
I put B.
I wasn't sure.
Because
I put D.
I put B because the inflation tax, it actually does not generate revenue for the government.
Is it not?
It does not. It's not more money that comes to the government. It's not. The government does not collect the inflation money. So that was why I didn't choose all of the above, because I thought, okay, the inflation tax is not an actual tax. It's not something that the government collects. It's just the fact that money has less value, but it's not money that the government is collecting.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, actually.
Yeah, it does.
So is it not an alternative to income tax and government borrowing then as well? So it would just be B?
That could be a way. Yeah, I thought about that too, but that would not be the government. That's the Fed.
Okay.
It's not the government itself. The entity that in charge of taxes is the government. It's not the Fed. So the Fed controls the money supply, but they do not collect taxes. So that's kind of. I don't think if it was an actual tax, it's not the Fed who decides how much is it or how to collect it. So
Okay, that
I
makes
don't know.
sense then. I think that makes sense to me.
I kind of reason it that way. It's not something I didn't look it on the book. This one, but that was my reasoning behind it.
Logically, I think it logically follows. So, okay. So are we good on 13 then? Okay, so 14, I put D. Anybody else?
On 14, I put D as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on this one. I guess so.
Yeah, I guessed as well.
So we're going to go with D, as in dog.
I put D actually.
Yeah, that's what I
D
did.
as in dog.
D as in dog.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think Rule was marking B.
Yep. Okay, on 15, I also put D.
I put D as well.
I did as also.
16, I have C.
And C.
Yes, I got
Same
C
here.
as well.
Okay, so 17, I have shoe leather cost.
I have D,
On 17,
but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I put C.
I got C as well. Yeah, the lower cost.
I didn't know on this one either.
Yeah, in the book it's funny the way that explains why it's called shoe leather cost. It's because it has a story behind it, but I remember it has something to do with the how people that was going to collect money, their shoes would they would ruin their shoes because they had to walk a lot to get their money. So it's that's how I explains the name. And
Yeah.
if you go if you're constantly going to the bank and get the money, and that's why it's that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so then on 18, I put A.
I put A as well.
I used A also.
A.
Okay, and then 19, I put C.
Put C.
I put A on 19.
A. Okay.
I wasn't sure if it's A or B, but in this case, it's like this. The nominal rate is 6%. So nominal rate, you have to deduct the inflation from that. The inflation was 1%. So the real interest rate of the money that you have that you have landed, it's 5%. But the expected was 1.5. So you gain a 0.5 percentage of interest rate. Because you were supposed to get a real interest rate of 4.5, not 5, because the expectation was that the inflation was going to be 1.5, and you need to deduct that from the nominal rate. So 6 minus 1.5 would have been 4.5, but the actual inflation was only 1%. So instead of 4.5, it was 5. So it transferred wealth from the borrower, from the person who's to you, because you're the one who lended the money, and you're gaining the interest rate because that was your deposit.
But I thought with it being less, the inflation rate being less, wouldn't that wealth actually help the borrower, not you? Because if you're not, because with less inflation rate, that means I'm trying to explain this in my head how I thought it out.
Okay.
Wouldn't that mean that while they have the money, that money is more valuable for them.
But it here it talks about the interest rate.
Oh, okay.
Because it says during the last tax year, you lent money at a nominal rate of 6%. So you have money deposited on the bank, and the bank was paying you a nominal interest rate of 6%, right? If the inflation rate was supposed to be 1.5, so the actual interest rate that you were going to gain from that deposit was supposed to be 4.5, right? But it was not that way. It was actually the inflation rate was 1%. So the interest rate that you're gaining on that deposit, it was actually more.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you were making, thanks to that deposit and that the money being borrowed by somebody else, the interest rate that you were gaining was 5% instead of 0.45. So you gained a 0.5 higher of what was expected.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense now. I understand. Yeah, I'm good with A. Is everyone else good with A? Or does anyone else have some?
It makes more sense when he explained it.
Yeah. So I'm good with A if everyone else is. Sweet. And then on 20, I put C.
He put C.
I put C also.
Yeah. See.
Okay. Well, there we go. I think that covers everything, right?
The only one that we got question was number 5, right? The one with the question mark, was it 5 or?
I think it was 2.
It was 2. Okay. Gotta review this one. Kind of, I thought I had it kind of figured out, but after reading it again, when it says the price level was falling instead of rising, that means deflation. So I don't know how that deflation affects the real interest rate. So I would have to go back to the book for that one. I don't remember how that's calculated. So I don't know if you guys want to send an email to the
yeah, will you just send an email? Will you just send an email if you find that in the book, and I'll look too.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other questions that we have as a group?
Nope, I think that's good.
Okay, so
I'm good.
Has anyone heard from Tammy?
Not today.
Nope.
I don't know. Nope. I haven't heard
It's kind of bad because she's the one that's probably the most into these groups. So hopefully she's all right. Okay, sounds good. Well, I guess we'll talk next week.
Yep.
And
Guys.
Okay. Talk to you later, guys.
Brooke, you're gonna send this to put online, right? You have
I'll post it and I'll send it. I'll
Perfect.
submit it.
Perfect. Thank you, Brooke. You're the best.
Cool, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you guys later.